obviously, I think our improvement over the last couple of weeks has been dramatic. I think that we would like to continue to improve. I think our kids have taken that personally, and they should. And I think that the staff and the commitment to that over the last couple of weeks for sure, 3-4 weeks, I'm not sure when, has been consistent, and I think we're going to continue to improve that.
What kind of challenge does Illinois present?
Well, I mean, it's 600 yards of offense on Saturday. The quarterback threw for 500 or whatever. He's the number one passer in the conference, so there's no question. It's a dynamic passing offense. I think he's not only is he a 4-year starter, but he's a good 4-year starter, and he does a great job of finding the open receiver, does a great job of extending plays with his feet and throwing the ball down the field. And they have quality receivers, big kids, that are making a lot of catches right now in space and doing a really good job of getting open.
Kerry, you said it's been dramatic improvement the past couple weeks. How do you improve dramatically in the middle of the season? What do you have to do to get so much better?
Well, here's what I think. I think in everything in life, you get what you emphasize. And I think that depending on who your opponent is and what your personnel is and the things that you have to do from a scheme standpoint, you are charged with trying to eliminate the things the other team does well. And I think for us, we found ourselves in a situation where it was obvious we got to get better at this. And so it was a huge area of emphasis on the part of everybody. And I think you change a little bit of your practice habits, and I think you change a little bit of your scheme, and you change a little bit about how you're doing your business, and you get better.
Did you challenge those guys? What do you do from a standpoint of trying to bring that out of your guys?
Well, I would say this. I think our kids are, first of all, they're very aware football players. I don't think that you would say to them, do you understand this? I think they get it. I think our kids probably have a better feel for that than anybody. I think obviously you challenge players every day in every way, but the area of great emphasis over the last month or so has been that, and the kids have responded really well.
Yeah. Can you talk about, for example, Noah Spence, just his rise in the last several games?
Right.
How that obviously helps the secondary, but what's kind of clicked from him from your vantage point, from your viewpoint, Kerry?
Well, he's playing really, and Mike would answer that better than I would, but I can tell you this: he's playing really fast, and I think when we play fast, we're really good. I think one of our strengths is our overall speed on defense, and so getting players in movement, getting players in space, given the opportunity to use that speed is an advantage for us. And I think Noah is finding himself in some situations where he can use his speed and athleticism. Noah always plays hard. He's played hard from the day he's gotten here. But I think his skill level, technique-wise, and being able and finding himself in some one-on-one matchups in space, he's doing a really good job.
Talk about the I don't know if conundrum's the right word, but their running back is leading them in rushing, but also Josh Ferguson, but also leading them in pass catches.
Sure.
Just talk about the challenge of like picking him up, so to speak, and dealing with that from a defensive standpoint.
Well, I think what they do offensively is they put you in a lot of tough situations. They're trying just like we are. They're trying to find one-on-one matchups, and they're trying to isolate athletes on bigger players in space and those kinds of things. And so when you take a running back out of the backfield, they get in empty. They use him in the screen game. Mm-hmm. They use him out of the backfield in pass routes. They're trying to isolate him on linebackers and those kind of things, and throw him the ball. Let him get out in space. And so our job is to first of all identify that, and then also be in some on-body coverage with him. Not to let him get the ball in space.
Hey, Kerry, when you lose a player like you lost at safety,
yeah,
does it take a while for everybody on the unit at least to kind of adapt? Or is there like a moment of shock there where you think, oh boy, we don't have that guy anymore? It's not just filling in another person for the spot, but it's like everybody coming to reason to the fact that you're not the same as you were. Everybody might have to do things a little bit different.
Absolutely. You're talking about a great player, a great leader, and a great communicator on the field, somebody who's been playing that position for a long time and has complete understanding of it. And that encompasses all of the players around him. And so when you take that piece out, we replaced him with a great player. CJ went in and played that spot, but now you've changed some of the dynamics of the communication and all of those kinds of things in the back end, and that stuff's really important. You don't replace great players instantly. Unless you just have so many, it doesn't make a difference. There's a reason why a kid's an all Big Ten player. So that there is a transition time. The burden for all of us is to always have the next man in ready, and to have them. But the great players are great players. They're hard to replace.
How's Pitt done, though, in your regard?
Oh, Pitt's done great. I think Pitt's played it very well. I think the interception, of course, a couple weeks ago was a huge play. But I think Pitt's played well. I think Pitt's played well also for his time here. He's kind of like that utility guy that's played a lot of spots. He's been a nickel. He's been a strong safety. He's been a free safety. He plugs in and fits in. And I think he's done a very, very admirable job. And look for him to continue to develop and improve over the next month or so.
Kerry, you guys were on a bye week, and not that you coaches get to go off and eat bonbons and sit on a beach, but
No.
if you got to see some of the games, Alabama, Baylor, Oregon, you watch those games as a position coach and wonder how your guys would, match up
Sure you do.
against those teams. And
Sure you do. I was texting with Bradley Saturday night watching the game, talking about individuals, talking about techniques, talking about how different teams play different things. And guess what? He was watching the same game I was, and isn't that a surprise? And we're football junkies now, and so my wife and I are batting down watching games, on the bye week, when I'm not recruiting, and that was kind of enjoyable. And didn't get to see too much of Thursday night because I was in a plane. I got to see the very end of it. But you do watch those guys. You do, not watching them as a scouting report, but you want to watch good teams play and see how their kids stack up against your kids. Absolutely.